Hey, gang. Today we're talking about being a person of action. It's a new beginning. It's that time of year when people write resolutions, set goals, stir up dreams. But we all know that we're living at a time when the truth that we all love and hold dear is under increasing assault. And we can see this especially given the increasing tyrannical trends in our nation. And we see that precisely because truth and freedom go hand in hand. If our enemies could dilute the truth, if they can confuse our resolve, they can take our freedoms as well. So what can we do about it? Well, the answer is actually very simple. We have to speak truth louder than the lies. And our guest today is going to show us how to do precisely that. Today, we're speaking once again with Turley Talker Joanna Hunt, best-selling author, book coach, publisher, and tireless freedom fighter. Joanna and I are actually going to be hosting a special event that you personally are invited to just for our fellow Turley Talkers, an event that's going to show you how you can change not just your own life, but the lives of countless others. So, Joanna, welcome back. So good to see you again. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Turley, and Happy New Year to you. Thank you for having me today. It's always a joy to be with you.
Oh, it's right back at you. You've worked with people for years, including many of our fellow Turley Talkers, to help them bring their dreams to life, particularly in the form of writing their first book, which is one of the most amazing experiences imaginable. Having done it 20 times, everyone has at least one book hidden away in their hearts, and they've always dreamed of publishing, and you help them make that dream a reality. And because these are patriots, you're helping them speak truth in the midst of this present darkness. So what have you noticed that has the most impact in helping people make that kind of progress and become a freedom fighter?
Yeah, I love that so much, Dr. Turley, and it is a great, great joy to help people bring their dreams to life. But when people come to me, typically they have a lot of self-doubt. They're a little confused about the process, which really any dream, whether it's a book or starting any type of movement or new endeavor or business, there's some things you have to learn. And so I am very, very grateful for the mentors and the coaches that I've had in my life. We need people to see what we don't see, who have done what we want to do to help us move forward. One thing that I learned in my early 20s, a few minutes ago, was the power of a book. And I learned that I could learn what it took someone an entire lifetime to learn. I could learn in a few days by reading and by learning from them. So that's kind of my first thing. Is I always say, get around people who have done what you want to do. Life is a group experience. The assault on our nation has been to divide and conquer, but we are stronger together. We are better together, and we can help each other move forward. So that's the first thing I say is get a coach, get a mentor. And then number two, don't underestimate the power of resolve and just making a decision and saying, I am doing this. When people come to me and they want to write a book with me, I don't take everybody, but one of the questions I say is, if we got off this call today and you'd said, I'm not going to do a book, I'm just going to go focus on another part of my life, how would that make you feel? And the ones who say, oh, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I would feel like I failed my purpose. I would just have deep, deep, deep regret. Like I have to do this. So look for that passion and then make a decision to take a step forward. And so those are the people that I love to work with, is the people who are passionate, who have that message, who have that insatiable desire. And so we can take people in as little as 90 days through the writing process and get them past all of their roadblocks. But number three, to really grab hold of your dreams, you do need to take action. Don't let another year slip by. In January, this is the time people are writing their resolutions list. They've cleared the decks. The elections are over. The holidays are over. 2022 is over. And Lord knows what 2023 has in store. But there's no reason to sit around just reading the news and scrolling social media. You have a voice, you have a purpose, and it's time to take action. Start
right.
before you're ready. Whatever it is that you have in your heart, take a step in that direction. And Dr. Turley, I know that at one point you had to take a step forward towards what was in your heart and the vision that you have. And look at what you did. You took action. I'm sure you probably didn't have all the answers when you started, but look where you are today, impacting millions and millions and millions. And I know there's people in your audience with that same talent and ability and passion. So I'm excited to see those things come forth.
Yeah, I love how you put it, because it's so true. There's never an ideal time. If you're waiting for the ideal moment, it's not going to arrive. You have to have the resolve to simply do. What was it? Richard Branson, the ultra billionaire. He has a famous saying: "Screw it, just do it." Or I've even heard the Shark Tank show, Mark Cuban say, "Perfection is the enemy to profits." Just it's the same principle. The principle: stop waiting for the ideal time and just do it. You learn through doing, just exactly what you said. And it's so true. I mean, there's no way around that. Anytime I wait, when I finally get in and I do it, I always think, why did I wait so long? What was the point of that?
No, absolutely. And that's totally normal, because the thing that I see on the flip side that holds people back is those, what I call the internal roadblocks. And that's our self-doubt and our questionings. And, we have two things that hold us up: external roadblocks and internal roadblocks. So the external roadblocks are, I don't have enough time, which really, you don't have enough time not to pursue your dream. Time is running out. So we have to keep going. So we have to flip a switch in our heads that way. And then we have all this self-doubt and, am I good enough? And why would someone listen to me? And, we have to have people who can speak life into our dreams. And I'm sure that you had mentors and people who spoke life into your dreams as well, Dr. Turley.
Oh, absolutely. Ralph Cochran, president of Turley Talks. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have done it without him. And we have a whole team here, Hannah and Josh and Conrad and Anna and all that, who, yeah, absolutely. If we didn't have them here, I couldn't do it. I just simply couldn't do it. But, I thought about it in the sense of just even the role of self-talk, you can't do it, or, I don't know, I don't see myself doing that kind of stuff. It's almost like the irony is we tell ourselves bad stories. Here we're trying to write a story in our hearts, from our hearts, and put it on paper. But bad stories inside of our hearts prevent us from actually doing that,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've heard it put this way: whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so that's the power of our own thinking. I've heard it said this way too: when the why becomes strong enough, the how to becomes clear. And so, we do have to govern the stories in our own head. That's the only thing that holds us up, is what we tell ourselves. Our brains are so powerful that once we set our focus and we set our resolve, suddenly answers start coming. I tell my coaching students about, you have to just kind of sit and think sometimes. Sometimes thinking is making progress on your book. And we have what we in our brains called the reticular activating system. I know it sounds big and fun, but if you, I know, fancy, right? If you are wanting to buy a red truck, all of a sudden, everywhere you look are going to be red trucks. You will never see so many red trucks. And in fact, people, after you hear this, you're probably going to go out and see a bunch of red trucks, because I planted that seed. But the whole point is, our brain is designed to find whatever we set our attention on. So if you are setting your attention towards finding a way to fulfill your dream, finding a way to start your business, finding a way to start a nonprofit, finding a way to improve people's lives, finding a way to get a book done, your brain will find that path forward. So set your resolve and start telling yourself, I say to my students, they come in, a lot of them, many of them come to me and they say, I've been trying for years and years. I have 3 good chapters. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I'm frustrated. Help me. And I say, yes, I can help you, because we all kind of have this same, a mess in our emotions that hold us back. But the first thing I say is, you're an author. You're authoring a book. So start calling yourself an author, and then do what authors do. Authors write. So when you flip that little identity switch inside, you can just see that path forward. And sometimes we have stories in our heads that we're not even aware of until we start talking to someone about our dream. And then we go, did I just say that out loud? Let me rethink that a minute. So again, that's the power of getting around groups, getting around people who are doing what you want to do. And that's why I love coaching in a small group. Dr. Turley, it's so funny because I used to do individual coaching, and people think, oh, well, I'm going to get a better experience if I'm coached one-on-one. The one-on-ones always take longer than the small group. There's such a beautiful dynamic in a small group experience where everybody moves forward. So I love doing that. So I encourage people to get in a group.
Yeah, you're feeding off the community. Definitely. I wrote down while you were talking there. It's so interesting because we're all so interested in freedom. And yet oftentimes the stories that we tell ourselves are so stifling and imprisoning. And so we want to be consistent with that freedom by awakening those stories on paper. And so, gang, that's exactly what Joanna and I are going to be doing with you. We're hosting together a special webinar just for our Turley Talkers. So mark your calendars on this. It's on January 26th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So all you have to do is just click on the link in the description to sign up. Space is limited, so don't wait. It's an amazing opportunity to finally speak truth into that darkness and get your first book published. It's a beautiful act of freedom. Joanna, what would you say to the person who's out there thinking, okay, this is all high and falutin and all that sort of stuff, but what does it matter? What can I do in all of this, right? I'm just one person. Can I really have an impact that changes the world?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing that people come to me saying all the time is, why does my story matter? And you know what? Stop and think right now of all the people that have impacted you with their stories. It doesn't take a big elaborate education and all these resources and, living a big fancy life as we sometimes perceive that it does. You don't have to be famous. You just have to be committed, and you just have to make a decision. And so I love the story of Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote a book, and they were rejected by more than 140 publishers. I don't know that I would go to 140 publishers. I probably would have given up after 20 or 30, but these guys were determined, and the experts told them no, 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 no. And you know what? One time a publisher said yes. And that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, became the #1 selling franchise of the entire decade. Now, those were guys who had their focus set and they looked for the yes. So I want to encourage everyone here to look for the yes, because it takes an ordinary person to do extraordinary things. Our publishing label is Silversmith Press. It is a nod to Paul Revere, who was one person who sounded the alarm and woke people up. And that's our mission as an organization, is we want to wake people up. We want to bring truth. We want to launch those messages that are being stifled through other avenues. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the conservative voice is being shut down everywhere. Well, we want to amplify the conservative voice. And Dr. Turley, I love your audience. When I work with people from your audience, they are committed, they're full of integrity, they show up, they're ready to go, and they have powerful, powerful messages. So I'm so excited about the books that are going to be released this year, because they are world changers. And I know that in your audience, there are more people who are sitting there going, yes, I have something to say. How do I use my voice? How do I get out there? How do I make a difference? And it starts by taking a step of action.
Love it. When you're talking that way, I'm reminded of what Alexander Solzhenitsyn once said. He said, "One word of truth changes the world," and that's just it's just there.
Yes.
It is. It's perfect. Doesn't matter who says it. One word of truth changes the world, and you can change it, gang, by clicking on that link below, signing up for a special free webinar on January 26th. Mark your calendars. 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, seating is limited, so don't wait. Just click on the link. It'll give you all the information you need. And Joanna's going to show you exactly what's behind the basics of publishing your first book. It's wonderful. Joanna, your expertise is in writing and publishing and marketing. For people who do have a dream to write and publish a book, why should they sign up for this webinar?
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I first started coaching, I was a ghostwriter for nearly 20 years, and I worked with New York Times bestselling authors and celebrities. The most recent book that I have my name on was 2 years ago with Emmy award-winning actress Patricia Heaton. She and I did a book called Your Second Act. It was a lot of fun, and it was wonderful, and it was very rewarding. But I always had people coming saying, "How do I get my book done? Can you help me?" These were people who didn't have unlimited resources and teams of people and agents and talent agents and top 5 publishers. And that is what really tugged on my heart, is that I wanted to help more people bring their dreams to life. And so that's why I started this coaching program. And then out of that, birthed the publishing company. And I'm so excited to say that our boutique conservative publishing house has the same distribution power as any of the top 5 publishers. And so we love amplifying people's voices. And so you should come to this event, because our team has worked with some of the top authors in the world. And so you're going to learn expert advice and wisdom, and you're going to learn the fastest path forward. No longer do you have to go write your manuscript, write a query letter, find an agent who's going to take a big chunk of your royalties, shop for a publisher, and wait 5 years to get your book done. I mean, really, from the time you start the process, even if you had great favor on a traditional path, you're talking years before your book is out. We don't have that kind of time. We know that. We're turning books around in as little as 6 months from start to launch to finish. And so we want to fast track you to the finish line. We want to do it with excellence. Most people are saying, well, I don't just want to be on one Amazon platform. No. With us, your book is distributed everywhere books are sold. And so we're super proud of that. So we're bringing that level of excellence and experience to the conservative voice. So I would love to speak with you. I would love to share my tips that we're going to have in our webinar, and then look at ways we can help you fulfill your dream to publish a book.
Yeah, gang. I mean, as somebody who's published several books, I can honestly tell you there is no one I would recommend more than Joanna. This is an amazing opportunity that you don't want to pass up. We've had so many Turley Talkers. Joanna and I have talked about them, and I've read the list of all the Turley Talkers and the titles of them, the descriptions of the books that they're working on. They're going through this journey with her, and we want you to be the next ones in this brand new year. So click on that link below. Sign up for a free webinar on January 26th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be there. And of course, Joanna, she will be doing her magic. And this is going to be an amazing year for you guys as authors. You're going to absolutely love it. It's going to change your life, and it's going to change the lives of people, more people than you can imagine. So, Joanna, thank you so much for being with us again. You're doing amazing stuff to make dreams come true and changing so many lives in the process. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Turley. The honor is all mine to be working with you and your amazing audience. And I look forward to speaking with you and seeing you at our live event.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Joanna.